Hi, it's Gina from C90 Designs. I decided to join the Graphic 45 challenge this month, which is use some stamps. I'm going to be using the Wild and Free stamps. I'm also going to be using Graphic 45 staples, the ATC tag, and the larger leaf die, and some scraps from this paper set. I cut some book pages too, some leaves out of book pages, and some green cardstock, my scraps, and I'm planning on making 3 tags. I'm going to use some Savage Patina Distress ink, some embossing powder, so I'm going to take my stamp, get it inked up, grab one of my tags, I'm just going to stamp it. I'm going to put embossing powder on it. Then I'm going to heat emboss it. Then I'm going to do it again. And there's my tag, heat embossed. So now I'm going to take my inker. I'm going to grab my Distress Oxide, ink around it. And I'm going to grab a little ground espresso. I come back in, re-ink around all the edges. I'm going to get the giraffe stamp. I'll be using black. I grab another tag. Okay, now I'm going to heat emboss. I'm just going to clean my stamp off. I'm going to dry it a little. Now I'm going to use some ground espresso. I'm just going to do half of him. And I'm just going to do the other half of him. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to grab my sheet of stamping paper. Get my archival ink. Gonna heat emboss my giraffe. I know I'm going to need 3 of these for my tags, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp 2 more. Get my 3 giraffes. Then I'm going to grab the flower stamp. Now I'm going to grab my black. Alright, I'm going to grab my All Good Things Are stamp and my Savage Patina ink. To grab my Twisted Citrus, and it's an oxide. I'm going to stamp it again, kind of just randomly. And I'm going to grab some pine needle. I'm going to use the pine needle again. And I'm going to use Stormy Sky Oxide. Now my tag looks like that. Okay, now I'm going to take my Savage Patina Oxide. I'm going to ink around the edges. And I'm going to take my ground espresso. Go back around the edges. So now I have 2 of my tags with backgrounds now. And the third one, all right, I'm going to grab a piece of book paper and my glue. gonna glue it on top of my tag. Grab my bone folder, smooth it out. So now I'm gonna grab my Savage Patina again. I'm gonna go around the edges. And I'm going to grab my ground espresso, go around the edges again. Just gonna ink the paper a little. My 3 tags now have backgrounds. Okay, I'm gonna set those aside. So now I'm gonna get my giraffes that I stamped and embossed. I'm gonna be using terracotta and my fussy cutting scissors. I'm gonna get some rubbing alcohol. I'm going to take my larger tip, my color in the circle, probably going to need 2 circles. The craft markers I'm using are these. I grab paintbrush, dip it in the rubbing alcohol, and kind of mix it in with my color. Then I'm going to paint my giraffe. You don't have to stay in the lines since you're going to fussy cut it out. Just keep grabbing some more rubbing alcohol and mixing. Get it as light or as dark as you want. And I'm gonna ink all 3 of them that way. Then I'm gonna come in and fussy cut it out. Alright, here's my little giraffe. And I already have the other 2 done. So they are ready for my project. So now I'm going to grab my stamped and heat embossed flowers. And I'm going to color in the color I've chosen, which is light pink. Then I'm just going to use the same method. Go in and color it. Remember, you don't have to stay in the lines since you're going to fussy cut it out. And I would continue this until I get them all done. I'm going to go in, I'm going to fussy cut some of them out. So there's one. I'm kind of more after the bigger flower, I think. Okay, so then I'm going to take my push pad. I'm going to take one of my flowers and a stylus. I'm going to turn it over I'm going to rub the leaves. I'm going to turn it back over. And it just gives it some dimension. So I'm going to take a flower. I'm going to rub on the leaves on the back side. And then do the center, which I've already done several. Right, so I have my giraffes, my flowers. Now I'm going to grab some of my leaves. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to rub each leaf in. It just kind of gives it some dimension. I'm going to do it with the notebook paper one. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside to heat emboss a couple of the titles. I'm going to grab the All Good Things Are stamp and the Born to Be Wild stamp. Grab my black ink. Grab a piece of my stamping paper. Alright, those are heat embossed. Alright, I'm going to cut these out. I'm just going to eyeball it. So I think I'm going to cut this one like this. I think I'm going to clip the edges on this one with the decorative corner punch. Okay, I'm going to grab some of my Distress Oxide Savage Patina, and I'm going to go around all the edges. I'm going to do this on both of them. Then I'm going to grab Ground Espresso Oxide. I'm going to go around all the edges again on both of them. And I'm going to just dab some of the blue on. Then I'm going to crumble them up. Just make a lot of creases in them. And uncrumble them. I'm going to take that Ground Espresso. I'm going to rub it on it to kind of highlight the creases I made. I'm going to do the same on this one. So now I have 3 titles. Flowers and 3 drafts. So I'm going to grab some of my Wild and Free scrap, a piece of the scrap paper, and my paper trimmer. And I'm going to cut it about 3/4 wide by 3 inches. I'm going to grab some of the ground espresso. I think I'm going to clip the corners first with that same decorative punch. And I'm using, whoops, didn't quite get that one. And I'm using the leaf side. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to ink around all the edges. I'm going to make 3 of these, which I've already cut the other 2. So these will go on the top, cover the hole, kind of like that. So then I'm going to grab some twine, and I'm going to make a few small bows. Oops. Alright, I'm going to make 3 of these little bows. I'm going to leave the tails long until I decide how short I want to trim them. I already have the other 2 made. So I'm going to set these aside. I have some 3D foam strips, my glue, my crocodile, 3 eyelets. I chose a hunter green color. And I'm going to grab my first tag. I'm going to grab my glue. And I'm going to center it over the hole in the tag. Trying to get it as straight as possible. I'm going to burnish it down. I'm going to grab my little deer. I'm going to apply glue to him. Just kind of dabbing off the excess. I'm going to glue him down. Kind of eyeball where I want him. And I'm just going to burnish him down. Okay, I'm going to grab the title and my hot glue. I'm going to just put some on each end. I'm going to center this where I want it, popping it up some. Pull off all my little strings. So it's not glued all the way down in the middle, just on the sides. Then I'm going to take my little bow, glue it onto his neck with some hot glue. I think I'm going to put it about there. think I'm gonna leave the strings long. That's what we have so far. Then I'm gonna take my crocodile. I'm just gonna eyeball about where I want the eyelet. Stick the eyelet in and set it. So there's one tag. So I'm gonna grab my book paper tag, grab my topper, put some glue on, and I'm gonna eyeball it again, put it where I think I want it, over the circle and on the tag. I'm going to burnish it down. Then I'm going to eyeball it again for my eyelet. Grab my eyelet, pop it in. I'm going to set it now. I grab my little giraffe, decide where I want him. I'm going to grab one of the leaves we made. Okay, I'm just going to put glue on the center, on the stem part. Kind of lifting off any excess. I think I want it about there. Grab my bone folder again and burnish it down. I'm just going to trim this little piece off. On the back of this little giraffe, I'm going to use some of my foam strips. The thinner piece I cut. So you can see my foam strips. Removing the backing. I usually just add just a little bit of glue so I get a good hold. I'm going to tuck him under this leaf but above the other one. I think I'm going to put him about right there. So far we have that. So I'm going to grab a few more leaves. A little glue on the stem part. I think I'm going to angle this one right here. Burnish down on the stem. I'm going to trim off that tiny extra. So next, I'm going to take some of the flowers that we cut out. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on them. And grab my stylus. I'm just going to kind of randomly place them where I think I want them. Grab another flower, a little hot glue. This one here, using my stylus to hold it on. I'm going to add one more. Just making this little bow smaller. I'm going to trim off the excess, quite a bit of this one. And I'm going to put a little hot glue on it. I'm going to lift the leaves, and I'm just going to put it on his neck. And I'm going to bend the leaves back down. Then I'm going to take my other title, All Good Things Are. I'm just going to hold it in the middle. Put a little glue on each end. And I'm going to center it about right here. You can use your stylus if you get a little too much glued down and lift it back up. That is my second tag. And my third tag, I'm going to grab the top piece, put glue on, center it over the hole, I'll burnish it down. Grab my crocodile, eyeball it and punch the hole. Grab my last eyelet. Then I'm going to set it. So that's what I have so far. Okay, my last title, I think it's going to go here. I'm going to grab some of my foam strips. Taking the backing off, adding just a little bit of glue, I'm just going to kind of place it where I think I want it. Want it about right there. So you can see it's got some dimension. Then I'm going to take my last draft. Alright, I'm going to cut my dimensional foam in half. I'm going to use it on the back side of him, because I'm going to glue the head onto my title. Okay, I'm going to put some glue on. I'm going to kind of eyeball where I want him. As you can see, he's hanging off a little, so I think I'm going to trim that. And then I have my bow. I'm going to trim the tails down a little. I'm going to grab some hot glue. I'm just going to put it on his neck. That's my third tag. To finish my tags off, I found this yarn I had in my stash. So I'm going to cut 3 pieces, about 7 inches long. Okay, I'm going to fold it in half. Stick it through the eyelet. Find the middle. Tuck the tails through. There's one. Grab another piece, fold it in half, grab my tag, stick it through the eyelet, tighten it down, and my last one, do the same thing. These are my 3 tags.